So I'd like to introduce our guest today, Rabbi Yisroel Goldberg, the founder and director of Chabad Rehavia in Jerusalem. Thank you for joining today.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure. We're in this important time of year in the Jewish calendar between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and I'm sure you have a very busy schedule. And I was wondering if you could just share how this came to be. Like, did you grow up in a Chabad family, and how sort of you ended up in this line of work? If you wouldn't mind sharing something with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
By divine providence, as you say, we're in the 10 days of Teshuvah,
Yeah.
repentance, just following Elul, and this is the time when we focus on the Teshuvah. I'm grateful that my parents, each one individually, went through the process in their teenagers of Teshuvah, and when they became Chabad, they married, they began a Chabad family, and I'm the oldest in the family, Baruch Hashem. And so ever since I was a young child, ever since I can remember myself, I've always had a great desire to be a shliach. I was amazed by the Rebbe's work where I grew up in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to be part of the Rebbe's army somewhere around the world.
Yeah.
Of course, I thought it would be somewhere much more exotic than Jerusalem, with all due respect.
Acapulco or something.
But it's amazing how Hashem plans things for us.
Yeah.
17 years ago, we had joined an existing Chabad center in upstate New York for several years. And now, and then we came here. We're here for 11 years now, Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
We're grateful to be here in the best place in the world, in Yerushalayim, Yir HaKodesh.
Yeah, awesome. And myself as a musician, I think I've gotten the opportunity to do a little bit of Baal Tefillah work, to sing in some weddings and different things. And
I love to listen to you play and sing.
Oh, thank you. And we were talking earlier about some of the great nigunim in Chabad, like the Arba Bavos, which I think means the four. I know Avot means fathers.
Bava is like a paragraph.
Okay.
Like a stanza.
Do you have like a favorite nigun in Chabad?
Every time I start a nigun at Chabad Rehavia, I say, "This is one of my favorite nigunim."
They're all your favorite.
They're all one of my favorite nigunim.
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. Firstly, ever since almost after my bar mitzvah, I loved going to different shluchim, speaking about what I said before, about knowing about my long-term goal of being a shliach. So I love to go to different shluchim around the world, in Canada, in the States, and even in Europe and beyond, to help shluchim. So I used to be the chazan.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yes, sure. Okay. Since 1995, 1994.
Oh, wow.
I went to different shluchim. Each year I went to a different place.
Wow.
I have some amazing stories of being by different Chabad houses. And then when I became a shliach, then I have other people come. I wish I could do to sing more and to be the chazan. Actually, this Rosh Hashanah on Mincha, I was the chazan for Mincha. I felt like going back to 25 years ago when I used to be the chazan. I love it. It's very, very special.
Wow.
I think that I'll never forget. This was in 2002, 2 weeks before I got married. I was in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
I went there for 2 weeks, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Then I got married right after Simchas Torah.
Oh, wow.
For Yom Kippur, they rented a hotel. They had about 600 people there.
Okay.
Unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
And singing the songs. And then I remember we sang the Shema in the Maariv, Yom Kippur night. And he had 600 people, standing room only.
Wow.
Shema Yisroel Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. My heart melted. I cannot explain in words how I felt.
Wow.
Where you had, sometimes you think you're going to inspire someone, and then you yourself become inspired 100 times more.
Wow.
And so to see people who, perhaps many of them didn't even stay in the hotel, who knows how they got to the hotel, but they came for Yom Kippur. Their neshama was turned on. Yeah. And so I was inspired by all of them. I was inspired to sing those songs, and you hear the neshama crying out from each and every one of them. Regards to your specific question, about is there a nigun which I love most? It's really hard to answer that question because there are so many beautiful nigunim, some nicer than others, and each one has its own special twist, has its own unique contribution to the world of song in the Chabad. In fact, in Chabad we refer to a song as the pen of the heart. You want to touch the heart, you want to be able to inspire someone, sing a nigun. The Alter Rebbe himself, you mentioned the Alter Rebbe's nigun, the Alter Rebbe himself, before he became the Rebbe, and after he became the Rebbe, he used to go around different places. There was still strong opposition to the way of Chassidus, and he used to go to different large communities, namely non-Chassidic communities, and sometimes he would give a certain big talk and inspiration. But one time he came, I believe it was the city of Shklov. In Shklov there was a huge yeshiva of the Misnagdim, those that opposed Chassidus. And he asked if he can say something or stand up at the bima. They said sure. So he got up there, and he quoted the Mishnah in Shabbos. The Mishnah says, "Kol Baal Yishir, Yotzim B'Shir v'Nichnasim B'Shir." The literal translation, shir doesn't only mean a song. Shir also means like a leash. So the Mishnah discusses if you're allowed to walk with a leash. Is it called carrying the leash, or is the leash part of the animal? But he used it as shir, as being a song. So he said, he quoted this Mishnah, and he said, "Kol Baal Yishir, Yotzim B'Shir v'Nichnasim B'Shir." That anyone who is an owner of a song, who sings a song, can go in and come out with a song.
Wow.
And he sang a nigun, and apparently half of the yeshiva followed him to Liyazna. Followed him back to the Chabad, and they all became Chassidim. So the power of a song is very, very strong. And sometimes just when you sing a song, that can be very, very powerful. If I had to choose one, there are so many songs, so I don't know how to choose one song. But I connect very much to the following song. Nine 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 nine. Join me when you're watching the song. Nine 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 nine. Nine 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 na na nine na 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 nine na na nine 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 na 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 nine na na nine nine na tiddy nine na 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 my da da nine nine na tiddy nine 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 na 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 nine 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 na 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 nine na na nine nine na tiddy nine na 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 nine na na nine nine na tiddy nine na 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 my da da nine nine na tiddy nine 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 na 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 na. It's important to note that in Chabad, when we sing nigunim, a song is a nigun. A nigun, we try to be very exact in every note of the nigun. Just like when we tell stories, we try to be very exact in every detail of the story. Also the nigun, because it's so powerful, and because it comes from the heart, it's important to be careful every single note. And that also brings me to the next point, that a Hasidic nigun is either composed by a Rebbe or composed by Hasidim. Because since a song is something it comes from the heart, so very often it will be composed during davening. Like when a person is really dedicating his time for davening and really with all his kavanah, then the song almost comes pouring out naturally. One of my best stories is a story that the Rebbe told of one of his songs that he taught. First, let me sing the nigun, and then we'll tell the story. Anim zmirot v'shirim erog ki elecha nafshi nafshi tarog, oy nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol rasodecha, oy nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol rasodecha. In a few days, we're going to celebrate Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur, traditionally, everyone comes to shul, and finally, after a full day of davening and fasting, everyone's happy to go home. So the story is, the Rabbi told the story, that the Gabbai, in this little town in Russia, the Gabbai closed the lights, it goes home, and then he comes back the next morning, 4 in the morning, to set up the shul, open the lights, turn on the candle, whatever it was, and he sees a guy, still there from the previous day, with his tallis over his head, and he's davening, and he's enjoying, he's singing this song.
Wow.
Doesn't that add a lot into the whole meaning of Yom Kippur?
Yeah.
So many people make the mistake, oy vey Yom Kippur, it's a difficult day, you can't wait to go home and have a good meal.
Yeah.
And here you have a guy who loves Yom Kippur. He's not even thinking about his food. He's just thinking about the singing to Hashem, Anim Zmirot, the beautiful Zmirot, the Shirim E'erog, and how he sings the song.